Ever try to get your smart assistant to book something online?
Oh, tell me about it.
It's like pulling teeth. Why is that still so clunky?
Yeah, it's like the AI is stuck in the dark ages of the internet. Like
What?
trying to stream a movie, but you're still on dial-up. It just doesn't work well.
Out. Yeah. So what's the issue then?
Well, the way AI currently interacts with websites, super inefficient.
Okay.
It's like if you had to read a whole book by translating each individual letter one by one
That sounds awful.
and slow. AI is basically doing that right now with web scraping and all these clunky workarounds.
So we need a faster and more reliable way for AI to talk to websites.
Exactly.
Enter UIM, right? Unified Intent Mediator Protocol.
I got it. UIM is like a universal translator. So instead of all this fumbling around, UIM lets AI and websites directly communicate, understand each other's intentions.
So instead of teaching AI to decode the entire internet, we're giving it a set of tools.
Yes. And a common language. And at the heart of it, intents.
Intents.
Basically, imagine a predefined action.
Okay.
A website can say, hey, I offer this book flight intent.
Right.
And the AI doesn't have to struggle to interpret all the messy website code.
Right.
It just says, I want to use the book flight intent. And boom, the website knows exactly what to do.
Smoother, faster. I like it. But are we talking about a massive library of every single action on the internet?
That's where things get interesting. There are two main approaches being explored: centralized versus decentralized. One's like a giant digital card catalog, and the other's more like AI agents browsing independent bookstores.
I'm intrigued. So centralized first. What are we looking at there?
Picture a single massive repository.
Okay.
Every website using UIM registers its intents there. AI agents can search it to find the specific actions they need. One-stop shop.
Convenient. A little risky, right?
Yeah.
Putting all your eggs in one basket. What happens if that central repository goes down?
You're right. That's the potential downside. Single point of failure, which is why there's the decentralized approach.
Okay, so how does that work?
Instead of that central repository, information is stored directly on each website.
Huh.
AI agents would use something similar to like what we use now, DNS, to find websites.
Interesting.
More resilient because no single point of failure, right?
Right. So both approaches have their pros and cons. Seems like it's early days still, right? Still figuring all this out.
Oh, absolutely. The draft specification even mentions a potential hybrid approach. Best of both worlds, maybe.
Ooh, hybrid. Tell me more.
Think of it like this. A central directory helps AI agents discover services, but the actual interaction happens directly with the website.
Okay, so you get the ease of searching with the flexibility of a decentralized system.
Exactly.
I'm starting to see the potential here, how UIM could be a game changer. But let's bring it down to earth for a sec. How would this work in practice? Say, I want to buy something online. UIM changes that how?
Okay, so you tell your AI assistant, find me the best deal on noise-canceling headphones.
Right.
But instead of just searching one website or clumsily scraping data, it uses UIM to instantly connect with a bunch of retailers simultaneously.
So like having a personal shopper.
Exactly. And because they're using UIM, their websites can communicate product info, pricing, all directly to the AI. Makes the whole process incredibly efficient.
No more digging through endless websites. No more comparing prices on a million tabs.
Precisely.
I like where this is going. But we've all heard the stories, right? AI running wild. How do we make sure it's using this power responsibly?
Well, UIM has built-in security and control mechanisms.
Okay, good.
And it all revolves around something called a policy adherence token, or PAT.
A PAT, like a digital hall pass for AI.
Pretty much. An AI needs to obtain a PAT before it can use a particular intent on a website. It's like a key that unlocks specific actions.
So websites still have control. It's not just open season for AI to do whatever it wants.
Exactly. And that's where something called the Open Digital Rights Language, or ODRL, comes in.
ODRL. PAT. Lots of acronyms today.
We'll unpack that one next.
Okay, so back to ODRL, like a digital contract, you said.
Yeah, exactly. It's how websites set the ground rules for AI.
So it's not just like hoping AI will behave itself.
Nope. With ODRL, website owners can specify, exactly how their data and services can be used.
So they can say how often an intent can be used, what data the AI can access.
Yeah, even implement billing systems.
So this is starting to sound more like well-run system.
That's the idea. And this is where our PAT, the digital hall pass, comes back in.
Right.
To use an intent, the AI has to show a PAT proving it's allowed access, according to the website's rules.
So no PAT, no service.
Exactly. That's how websites keep control. Even with AI in the mix, it's all about responsible access.
This whole system, it's like what? Building a secure infrastructure for AI on the web.
Yes. And think about what this could mean for something like, say, online shopping.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Imagine a world where you've got an AI shopping assistant that just knows what you want.
Instead of being bombarded with irrelevant stuff.
Exactly. And because all these online retailers are using UIM, your AI assistant can compare everything instantly.
Products, prices, reviews across what? Dozens of sites?
Yep. All at once. It's like having a superhuman shopping buddy.
No more endless scrolling. Okay, I'm sold. But what about those of us who aren't like tech wizards?
That's a great point. But that's the thing about UIM. It has the potential to make the web easier for everyone.
Even if you don't know all the ins and outs of websites and stuff.
Right. Imagine, for example, booking a doctor's appointment.
Oh, yeah. Those websites can be a nightmare.
With UIM, you could just tell your AI assistant, schedule a doctor's appointment for next week, and it just does it.
Wow, that would be amazing. Especially for people with disabilities or anyone who struggles with tech.
Absolutely. Breaks down those barriers, makes the web more inclusive.
Yeah, I love that.
And it's not just about convenience. It's about empowering people to actually use the internet competently.
Okay, yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
This is what tech should be about.
Exactly. But like anything new, it has its challenges. We've got to make sure it's accessible to everyone.
Not just the big tech companies.
Exactly. If only a handful of companies control it, it could actually make inequality worse.
So it needs to be developed in an open way with everyone at the table.
Exactly. It's about democratizing access to information, to opportunity.
It's like we're building a new digital city.
I like that.
We want to make sure it's designed for everyone.
Yes. And just like building a city, it takes planning, collaboration.
And a shared vision.
Absolutely.
So how do we get there?
Right.
From where we are now, with UIM still in its early stages, to this more inclusive future.
I think the first step is talking about it, having open and honest conversations.
Getting everyone on the same page. Policymakers, tech leaders.
Researchers, the public, everyone.
Because it's going to impact all of us.
Exactly. We need to talk about the good and the bad, the ethical stuff.
And we need to do that now, before it's too late to change course.
Absolutely. We have to be proactive in shaping the future we want.
Responsible innovation, right?
Yes.
Embracing the potential, but being cautious.
And that brings us to another big one, security.
The $1,000,000 question with AI.
We're talking about giving AI more access. Of course, security is a concern.
But that's where those safeguards come in, right?
Exactly. PAT and ODRL. They're there to give websites control over how AI interacts with their stuff.
Like building a house with strong locks.
Exactly. It can be welcoming and secure.
So UIM has huge potential, but it's not a magic solution.
Exactly. It's a powerful tool, and we need to proceed carefully.
Having those open conversations every step of the way.
Exactly.
It feels like UIM could be a turning point, but it's not just up to the developers to figure this out, is it?
You're right. This is where our listeners come in.
Wait, really? What can our listeners do? I thought we were just like along for the ride.
UIM has the potential to change so much about our lives, how we shop, access healthcare, you name it, but it's still being shaped.
So there's still time to influence it.
Absolutely. And the more people understand UIM,
The more they can help shape it.
yes, learn about it, talk about it.
Make your voice heard.
Exactly. And this project is designed to be collaborative.
So they want our feedback.
They're asking for it. Share your ideas, get involved.
I love that. Okay, before we get too carried away, let's talk about where things stand right now.
Right. So still a work in progress. Technical stuff is being finalized. There's a lot of experimentation going on.
So not quite ready for prime time.
Not quite,
Yeah.
but we're starting to see some real world pilot programs.
Ooh, really? What are people doing with it?
A few retailers are integrating it into their platforms, testing it out, seeing how it improves AI-powered shopping.
Those AI shopping assistants we talked about.
They might be closer than we think.
Wow. What else?
Travel booking, customer service, even healthcare.
It's like the early days of the iPhone.
Exactly. And those early adopters, they were crucial. The same goes for UIM. The more people who use it give feedback.
The faster it'll develop. Makes sense.
This is a really exciting time to be following UIM, but we got to be realistic too. It's not a magic bullet,
It has its limitations.
and we need to keep those ethical considerations in mind.
Making sure it benefits everyone.
Absolutely. This is about humanity, not just technology.
So, big question.
Go for it.
If UIM takes off, what happens to the web as we know it?
Ooh, that is a big question. It could be huge. Think about it. The web right now, it's designed for us, for humans.
We click, we scroll, we read.
But what if AI becomes a primary citizen of the web?
Are you saying UIM could change the entire online landscape?
Potentially, yes. If AI can directly access and understand the information on websites, who knows what's possible?
AI-powered search engines that actually get us
Mhm.
talking to websites instead of using clunky interfaces.
The possibilities are really exciting.
I'm getting a little bit of a nervous excitement about all this.
Me too. It's like standing on the edge of something brand new.
A little exhilarating, a little daunting.
Exactly. But it's definitely going to be interesting.
So it's like we're watching the trailer for this crazy sci-fi movie, right?
Right.
And we're all on the edge of our seats waiting to see what happens next.
Yeah.
But okay, let's rewind a little bit, back to reality. What needs to happen to take UIM from experiment to mainstream?
Well, for starters, we need the big players to get on board.
Okay. Yeah.
Imagine if a Google, Amazon, Microsoft.
The big guns.
Exactly. Imagine if they embraced UIM, integrated it into everything they do.
That would definitely get everyone's attention.
Right. And the good news is a lot of them are already involved in developing this and other AI standards.
Oh, okay. So things are moving.
Definitely. But it can't just be about big tech, right?
Right. What about everybody else?
We need to make sure UIM works for smaller businesses, developers.
Regular people.
Exactly. If we want a truly inclusive web, everyone needs to be able to use it.
So how do we make that happen?
Well, we need to make UIM easy to use, right? Build tools and resources.
So anyone can adopt it, regardless of their tech skills.
Exactly. Democratize access, so to speak.
I like that. Make it available to everyone. But even with the best tools, people still need to know what it is, right?
That's right. Education is key.
The more people understand UIM,
The more likely they are to embrace it.
right? Because knowledge is power, right?
Exactly. So we need more resources, tutorials, workshops,
Make it easy to learn.
and not just the technical stuff. We need to talk about the ethical side, the social impact.
Because ultimately, UIM is a tool. And like any tool, it can be used for good or bad.
Yes,
It's up to us to decide how we want to use it.
it really is. We have to be mindful of the consequences, make sure it's being used to benefit everyone.
So that's the goal, right? To create a better future for everybody.
That's what we're hoping for. And that's where, honestly, our listeners come in.
Oh, right. What can they do?
Stay informed, ask questions, talk about it.
Start a conversation.
Exactly. The future isn't set in stone.
We all have a role to play in shaping it. I like that.
It's a collaborative effort.
Well, on that note, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive into UIM. It's been
A lot to process.
but super fascinating. It really feels like we're on the cusp of something big here.
We really do.
This could change everything about how we use the internet. And it's exciting to think about where it might lead.
It certainly is.
So to all our listeners out there, thank you as always for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
And remember, the future is in our hands. Stay curious, stay engaged, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive.